Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Barakah Kodash, Barakathon. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and peace and salutations to Yahakim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Raiah with another video, and I'm going to start it off with Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are the true children of Israel, are rich, because even though we're in this lowest state right now, we have the blessing and the birthright in the kingdom of heaven, and our salvation is right around the corner. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And those that say they are Jews but are not are those Amalekite Edomites, or so-called Caucasians over in the land of Israel right now, calling themselves Israelis. When you understand these scriptures, you can clearly see that those imposters over there don't fit any of the scriptures dealing with what the true children of Israel would do when they were back in that land, or how they got back into that land. But these imposters do fit the scriptures dealing with the heathens when they got the land into their hands, as it says in Ezekiel 36 verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which is just a Greek way of saying Edom, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey. And that's how those impostors got into that land. It was appointed unto them, starting with the Balfour Declaration setting the groundwork, and then UN charters, which gave them that land. This is an article from wikipedia.org titled Israeli Declaration of Independence. Background: the possibility of a Jewish homeland in Palestine had been a goal of, and I'm not going to say that word because there's a possibility of this video getting flagged using that word, so I'm just going to say Zionist organizations since the late 19th century. In 1917, the then British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour, also an Edomite, stated in a letter to British Jewish community leader Walter Lord Rothschild, one of the elite families of the Edomites, also Amalekites, that His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this objective. The Idumeans who have appointed the land into their hands, it is being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by the Jews in any other country. Through this letter, which became known as the Balfour Declaration, British government policy officially endorsed Zionism. After World War I, the United States was given a mandate, it's like the United Kingdom was given a mandate for Palestine, which it had conquered from the Ottomans during the war. In 1937, the Peel Commission suggested partitioning mandate Palestine into an Arab state and a Jewish state, though the proposal was rejected as unworkable by the government and was at least partially to blame for the renewal of the 1936-39 Arab Revolt. In the face of increasing violence after World War II, the British handed the issue over to the recently established United Nations. The resolution was 181-2, a plan to partition Palestine into independent Arab and Jewish states, and the special international regime for the city of Jerusalem. The residue of the heathen, because you so-called Arabs that call yourselves Palestinians over there don't belong in that land either. You're Ishmaelites. The Jewish state was to receive around 56% of the land area of Mandate Palestine, encompassing 82% of the Jewish population, though it would be separated from Jerusalem. The plan was accepted by most of the Jewish population, but rejected by much of the Arab populace. On 29 November 1947, the resolution to recommend to the United Kingdom as the mandatory power for Palestine and to all other members of the United Nations the adoption and implementation with regard to the future government of Palestine of the plan of partition with economic union was put to a vote in the United Nations General Assembly, the result was 33 to 13 in favor of the resolution with 10 abstentions. Resolution 181-2, Part 1, Future Constitution and Government of Palestine, a termination of mandate, partition, and independence, Clause 3 provides, Salakia. Independent Arab and Jewish states and the special international regime for the city of Jerusalem shall come into existence in Palestine but in 2 months after the evacuation of armed forces of the mandatory power has been completed, but in any case not later than 1st October 1948. The Arab countries, all of which had opposed the plan, proposed to query the International Court of Justice on the competence of the General Assembly to partition a country, but the resolution was rejected, and there hasn't been peace in the land since, because shortly after this, as it reads on this other article on wikipedia.org titled 1949 Armistice Agreements, the 1949 Armistice Agreements are a set of armistice agreements signed during the 1949 between Israel and neighboring Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, and Syria to formally end the official hostilities of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. There was a war between those Ishmaelites and those Amalekite Edomites, but in the scriptures it states that when the true children of Israel were back in the land, the nations wouldn't learn war anymore and would flow unto Israel to learn of these laws, statutes, and commandments, which you're clearly not seeing, because if these Amalekite impostors were the true children of Israel, these other nations would happily accept them in the land and would be following suit with all their laws. This is Micah chapter 4. I'm going to read verse 1 through 3. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it, and many nations shall come, such as Egypt, Lebanon, what have you, and say, Come, and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, and to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, not have an Arab-Israeli war, or the 6 days war, or the current hostilities that are going on, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So clearly, you can see that those imposters over in the land right now aren't the true children of Israel. And also it states in scriptures that the true children of Israel would be brought back into the land by the hand of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, not by a Balfour Declaration or UN charters. And also that King David would rule in Israel again. And the David's slingshot anti-missile defense system doesn't count either. But with all this groundwork being laid, what I'm going to be focusing on in this video is the fact that these other heathens know that you Amalekite Edomites aren't the true children of Israel. It's just you 2/3 out here that don't want to acknowledge that you are the true children of Israel. And I'll be profiling a video titled, Palestinians, Are the Jews Indigenous to This Land?
Are the Jews indigenous?
هل اليهود من سكان الأرض الأصليين؟
لا طبعا.
No, of course not.
Why not?
ليش لا؟
بلد اسمها فلسطين طول عمرها.
Did you see his look? He was surprised, like, you should know this. You should know that they're imposters.
A land that has been always called Palestine.
Incorrect.